We can't see exactly what's happening inside the rear seat of the police cruiser, but we can see that when you emerge and you come over to the camera, you have blood all over your knuckles.
Correct.
In your job now, you don't find the occasion to punch people.
I probably will, but I haven't yet.
I've done several videos on this case where my client was handcuffed in the rear of a police cruiser where his wife was filming outside.
You got body cam, I'm gonna sit right here. There you go. If you loosen these motherfucking cuffs out, I'm gonna strip my finger.
Why?
Look at this motherfucking man, I'm serious.
And you can't quite see exactly what happened inside the police car, but then you see the police officer emerge with his bloody armored gloves and approach the camera.
All right, so listen.
So this is the final update for that case. It's over, it's settled, and my client got paid. So this is the case where I previously posted the video depositions. Here are a few bits of those video depositions that were important in reaching a settlement here. Then I'll tell you the settlement amount, which may surprise you. Now, when you punched Melvin, were you wearing gloves?
I was.
Tell me about your gloves.
They're a cloth mixed with a type of UFC type knuckle covering to protect my knuckles and anything I come in contact with.
All right, I'm going to show you what's been previously marked as exhibit number 5 for this deposition.
Yes.
Now, I'll represent to you that that is a screenshot that I took out of the video that we have in this case. Does that screenshot accurately represent your hand and your glove on the date of this incident?
It does.
I'll also show you what's been marked as exhibit number 6. I know this isn't the greatest quality, but that is a close-up of your glove, also from the same video.
It is.
Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Don't hit him like that.
All right, so listen. When I tell him to put his hands on his hand,
I understand.
and he goes to grab his back, I'm gonna protect me, he and
I'm
her,
sorry.
or him.
I know.
They're gonna get your info. I'm taking him to the office.
Well, I know you both, so you know my info. You both know my info.
I know. She's gonna get your info.
It's your testimony that these gloves, they have reinforced knuckles.
I wouldn't say they're reinforced. You know the UFC type gloves that have like a little padding? That's all it is. It's a thing, it's just, I broke my hand a few times, so I wear it so I don't do it again. And
You broke your hand a few times punching people
yes, it was in a fight.
while you were working as a police officer?
Yes.
In your job now, you don't find the occasion to punch people.
I probably will, but I haven't yet.
You said you threw those gloves away because they had blood on them, right?
Correct.
And that blood was Melvin Sargent's blood.
Not sure.
Well, they didn't have blood. The knuckles of your gloves did not have blood on them already upon your first arrival at Melvin Sargent's house.
No, correct. My mouth was bleeding as well.
All right. Well, you punched Melvin Sargent, you said, in the face.
Yes, in the cheek.
All right, and he was bleeding.
I'm not 100% sure if he was or wasn't. I didn't notice any cuts or...
All right, so you have no idea if that's Melvin Sargent's blood.
Correct.
So you're saying it could be your own blood?
It could be.
On your knuckles?
Yes.
You didn't punch yourself, right?
No, I did not.
You punched Melvin Sargent?
Correct.
He was treated subsequently for lacerations inside his mouth. You have no idea how that could have occurred?
Inside of his mouth? No, I have no idea.
That's not from you punching him in the face?
It could, I don't know.
You have no explanation for that?
No.
That is the criminal complaint that charged Melvin Sargent in this case.
Yes.
And that criminal complaint includes a narrative written by you, correct?
Yes, the same narrative.
Would you agree with me that the report that you submitted to the magistrate as part of this criminal complaint was under oath?
Yes.
Okay, so you're telling me here today that there are these inaccuracies in your report, but you never informed the magistrate that there were inaccuracies in your report, did you?
I didn't notice them.
So you didn't notice the inaccuracies in your report until today, August of 2022?
Yes.
I'll show you what's been marked as exhibit number 3, and that is a court order or a motion form indicating that the 2 charges of battery on an officer were dismissed by the court.
Correct.
Melvin Sargent was not convicted of those allegations or of those charges, was he?
Of the batteries, no.
That shows you in the video, right?
Yes.
And you're placing Melvin Sargent in the rear of that police cruiser.
Correct.
You saw and you heard Melvin Sargent asking you to loosen his handcuffs.
Yes.
You got body cam, I'm gonna sit right here. There you go. If you loosen these motherfucking cuffs out, I'm gonna strip my finger.
Why?
Look at this motherfucker, man. I'm serious.
That section of the video, would you agree with me that it shows you engaging in a use of force against Melvin Sargent?
It does.
Look.
Stop hitting him, bitch! Stop hitting him!
Stop it.
Do you also agree with me that that section of footage, 0 through 32 seconds, does not show Melvin Sargent kicking you in the chest?
Correct.
It does not show Melvin striking you in any way?
Correct.
What would you characterize as the nature of the force that you used? What did you do?
The push in, and while he was inside the vehicle, I held his head down with my right hand because he kept trying to come up trying to spit on me.
Okay. And again, your report mentions nothing about Melvin trying to spit on you.
Correct.
Are you saying that you didn't strike him at all?
I never hit him in the back of the cruiser, no.
What we see in the first 30 seconds of this video, you're saying that no punches were thrown by you.
No, none.
Look.
Stop hitting him, bitch! Stop hitting him!
Stop it.
You're just holding him down.
Yes. Hold him down, trying to talk to him, tell him calm down, quit. As soon as we get to the office, we'll figure everything out.
Look.
Stop hitting him, bitch! Stop hitting him!
Stop it.
The use of force that you did engage in at this point, in the first 30 seconds of the video, you didn't mention anything about that in your report.
No.
Melvin Sargent was handcuffed at this time.
Yes.
When plaintiff alleges that you struck him or you punched him in the rear of that police cruiser, you deny that.
Yes.
It's your testimony that you were just holding him down.
Yes.
Other than holding him down, did you do anything else physical with Mr. Sargent in the rear seat of the police cruiser?
No, nothing.
You didn't strike him.
No.
You didn't punch him.
No.
Look.
Stop hitting him, bitch! Stop hitting him!
Stop it.
And this is the time period where, as we can see, you were wearing those reinforced gloves.
Padded gloves. I wouldn't call them reinforced.
So from 53 seconds to a minute, you approach the camera, right?
Yes.
And watching this video, we can see you walk up with your black gloves.
Yes.
And we can see that those black gloves have blood all over the knuckles
Yes.
All right, so listen.
Oh my God.
Listen.
of your right hand.
Yes, over the more of the ring, looks like the ring knuckle.
You're right-handed?
Yes.
Would it be fair to say that that's your punching arm if you were to punch somebody?
If I punch, it goes with whichever one would be more efficient.
All right, so we can't see exactly what's happening inside the rear seat of the police cruiser, but we can see that when you emerge and you come over to the camera, you have blood all over your knuckles.
Correct.
But you don't know whether or not that's Melvin Sargent's blood.
I'm not 100% sure, no.
And you have no idea what may have caused any injuries to Melvin Sargent.
No.
But it wasn't you.
I don't know.
Would you agree with me that it wasn't necessary for you to strike him?
There was no use for a strike in the back of the cruiser, so I didn't do it.
So you didn't strike Melvin Sargent in the rear of the police cruiser because it wasn't necessary to do so?
Correct.
So you would agree with me that had a police officer in those circumstances struck him or punched him in the face, that would have been excessive?
Very much, yes.
So this case ended up settling for $25,000. And that may be less than you were expecting. The reality of civil rights lawsuits, as I discussed in a prior video with Kentucky lawyer Chris Wiest, is that generally you don't have a whole lot of actual damages, such as medical bills or lost wages, in these cases. Many times the majority of your damages in a constitutional injury case is just attorney's fees. In other words, that's just how much time I spent on the case. Now, nobody has paid me for that time, but I keep track of it so that we can request it from the judge at the end of the case if we win. In turn, that causes the defendants to value settlement negotiations accordingly prior to trial. So you always run the risk that a jury could only award $1 or $1,000. You just don't know. And if that happens, the lawyer will still get paid if you win, but the client may not. And that's why it's the client's decision on whether to settle prior to trial. And in this case, that's exactly what happened. Could we have gotten more from a jury? Maybe, maybe not. In this particular case, the video deposition clips that I showed you were the strongest aspect of the case in my opinion. Although there were more issues at play, including unnecessary pepper spraying, the officer's denial about what took place in the rear of the police car, coupled with the video of his bloody armored gloves as he exited the car, made it extremely likely that a jury would conclude that punches were thrown despite his denials. According to the officer's own testimony, had punches been thrown while my client was handcuffed in the back of the car, he agreed that would have been excessive. Thus, I think we would have won on that issue, assuming the jury disbelieved the officer's claim that he threw new punches. Which, if they're being honest with themselves, they would. But as I said, who knows what the jury would have awarded for that. 25 grand is still 25 grand at the end of the day, especially for people who could really use that money. Also, this is the reason that there was no part 3 to the video depositions, because the case settled, for those of you who have asked. And here's another interesting thing about this case. I was contacted by a major TV network who was interested in starting a new primetime TV series based on this case, on these videos. So it focused on video depositions and civil lawsuits against the police, sort of like a First 48 type deal with interrogations, but now the tables have turned, where the police are now being questioned. So I actually really think it is a fascinating idea, and I hope that somebody does run with that. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and let me know in the comments if you would have accepted that settlement amount had this happened to you. You'll find my contact information in the description. If you have a case that you think I might be interested in, or if you think that I can help you, let me know. Also, if you want to contribute to the fight in qualified immunity, please donate to the Institute for Justice using my custom donation link, which is in the description. So we're tracking this now, so let's pump up those numbers to show how much we're donating. And let's keep those IJ civil rights lawyers running at full speed suing the government. Remember, freedom is scary. Deal with it.